Hello, I'm GG Benitez with the Dubai Connect. I am bridging the United States investors with the opportunities here in Dubai, and I have a very special guest with me today to answer many of your questions. Please welcome Mr. Mohamad Kaswani from Property Finder. Hello, Mr. Mohammed. How are you?
Hello, Gigi. How are you?
I am doing much better now that you are here.
You call me Mr. Mohammed. It makes me feel like a high school principal.
This is season 2 of the Dubai Connect podcast. So it's exciting actually to know that you lived in California yourself and you are an expat yourself and you have children that still live in California. But I would love for you to share who you are, what Property Finder is, and how you came to Dubai.
Yeah, absolutely. California is what I've always believed to be home. Until Dubai became home.
Wow.
And it doesn't take that much, by the way. A lot of us who come to Dubai, we assume that, hey, we're going to come for 2-3 years. And then next thing you know, 12 years in the city. And then, living, dying, retiring here is, sounds like a great idea. So talk to you about Property Finder. Property Finder is the Zillow of the Middle East. So we are a classified real estate marketplace connecting, hundreds of thousands of listings of properties for sale with millions, more than 100 million sessions a year in home buyers or home renters, home seekers looking for homes. And what I do at Property Finder is I lead 2 business verticals, one of which being new projects, which is a new business vertical that we're building now, essentially building a new experience to better support home seekers in identifying, finding, and connecting with the right off-plan or primary properties. And we also own and operate a subsidiary that is a full-service mortgage company called Mortgage Finder.
Yes.
I know original, but it works.
I love it. We actually had Warren on, so we have another podcast, entire episode with Mr. Warren from Mortgage Finder.
Isn't
sharing
he a first-class human?
Oh,
I
and
love Warren.
his story is amazing that he's the 3rd ever mortgage lender in Dubai. So
Yes,
he has seen the market from, I think it was 18 years ago. I don't know how many years ago he's been here, but his story was really incredible as
Yet
well.
surprisingly, he still looks very healthy.
He doesn't seem like he's a very stressed out person.
Right?
Yeah. He's very calm and collected.
Don't know how he does it. He inspires me.
He is. So tell us about, and I think this is what's really important, about the transparency of the real estate market and how your business model serves that here in Dubai.
Sure. Look, this is something that we've been obsessing with at Property Finder for the last for many years. To be honest, if anything, we were pioneers. We had worked with the Dubai Land Department. I know I just saw Dr. Mohammed leaving here, first class human too.
He is.
We actually worked with the Dubai Land Department on developing what is called the Mu'ashir Index.
Okay.
Right? So in a way, we were a catalyst in the market in introducing transparency. We won't take the credit for it because naturally without meaningful support and commitment from the government. Right?
Yeah.
And the Dubai Land Department, which is quite a progressive, government entity, as I'm sure you would have touched with Dr. Mahmoud on this. So transparency is something we take very seriously, and let me tell you why. The fundamentals of a marketplace are comprehensiveness, convenience, and trust. What that means is people come to Property Finder because, one, they're going to find every property in town or in the country, in all the markets that we serve, on our platform, on our app or a website. 2, convenience, in the sense that we build a user experience that is going to accelerate their path to finding the right property. The third component, which is absolutely key, and this is how we were I believe, able to solidify our market leading position is trust. Without trust, there's no trade.
Correct.
Now, we built the essentially a tool within our platform called Data Guru.
Okay.
Right? Where every listing on Property Finder has a lot of these elements that shows you price trends, that shows you community trends, that show you previous transactions, etc. You have valuation tools. You have a lot more coming up. Obviously, this is a journey. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
But
So if
your
you look-
effort is to constantly create that transparency and that trust. Dubai in general,
100%.
right?
100%.
The whole real estate market here in general. And this is one of the most important topics that I am conveying to my American investors, because many of them have not been here. They don't even necessarily intend on coming here, but they want a piece of this action, which is the smart thing to do, considering that this is the investment capital of the world.
I'll tell you what, I can relate to your average American investor, because ultimately I lived most of my adult life in the US before moving here.
Okay.
And I was used to having that transparency, the MLS,
exactly.
public records, etc., etc. When I first moved to Dubai in late 2011, 2012, I really struggled with the idea of buying a home because of the lack of data.
Okay.
Right? I went through that journey, right? And I remember I would speak to people in real estate, and I'd ask questions, and I'd find a really hard time getting those real concrete answers. So what I find this accelerated shift that we're seeing into unlocking another dimension of transparency has been really exciting, to a point where I became a homeowner finally in Dubai, right? Because once you have that visibility, you're able to see previous transactions. You're able to understand what kind of rental yields that you're going to get.
You're not just taking a broker's word for it or developer's word for it.
Yeah.
You're seeing the trend.
100%.
Yes.
And I'll tell you one more thing that I think is a super positive indicator. Naturally, we work with every real estate agency in the country, right? And what we're noticing that is very positive is the fact that real estate agencies are 100% on board with that level of transparency.
Absolutely.
They love it.
We want it.
And we want it. And I love seeing that
Yes.
the practice or the industry, the trade, if you'd like, getting elevated, where now your real estate, your professional real estate companies that we work with, they use many of our tools to help better educate their investors.
Yes.
And that's a big win for everybody. It's a big win for the government for unlocking that, open API and making that data available for us to process it and show it in real time. And by the way, it is in real time. So it's no longer, available to the privileged few who are able to see what's happening in the city. No, it is now available to the public. The speed at which we're able to collaborate with the guys at DLD, and also the collaborative approach that we're both sharing. Right? It's not a battle, not at all.
Everyone's on the same page.
Everybody's on the same page. We're all trying to tackle the same problem.
Yes.
And to a very large extent, we are all aligned on the solution.
Yes.
If you'd like, the public-private partnership, approach whereby, DLD relies on us, right, and we rely on them. So it is a collaborative team effort. This is why I believe in the city. You have a regulator who is truly business friendly, who is trying to solve a problem, not create a problem.
Correct. There's not a lot of red tape. Everyone's on the same page. It's not politics involved in this. It's let's build this so it is the real estate capital, of the world. The way, let's say, Switzerland is for banks, Dubai is for real estate, and with 85% of expats and with ultra high net worth investors, eyes on Dubai, and actually redirecting their investing from, let's say, the United States that has really been negatively affected recently with being priced out of the market, the taxes, of course, the profit margins, capital appreciation, such a huge regulation on Airbnb. I mean, Dubai is the place to invest your money.
I've done business in probably 7 or 8 industries, right? Construction, real estate,
Wow,
banking,
okay.
oil and gas, food, manufacturing, etc., with over 40 different countries: Asia, Europe, North America, Latin America, right? I have never never interacted with a regulator who is as business friendly as the UAE. That's why I'm a strong believer in the city.
That's so profound. And I feel pulled here and I feel so impassioned to help demystify Dubai and help making it more accessible to those in America that have the money and have an interest, but maybe didn't have someone as myself to really help bridge and connect and introduce to people like you and to help share the Dubai Land Department or the Master 2040 plan and just which developers to work with. So thank you for that. And I
I think
love
what you
that.
do is super cool.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
It's definitely a journey. Looking back at 2023's numbers, I've shared a lot of information, but if you want to just give a brief overview, just very brief of, because I think it's more important to talk about moving forward, the records that were broken with regards to sales here and rental as well.
Has there been a record not broken in 2023?
No.
So
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, instead of boring your audience
Okay.
with numbers and percentage, right? You want to talk about 2024?
Yes, I
So,
do.
in
And
a
that's a
nutshell-
hot question. What is the forecast for 2024? And based on how successful 2023 is, should an investor be scared that 2024 it's going to all just crash and burn because it already rose too rapidly and it's already at a maximum? Yes.
So to answer your question first, right? I won't make it boring. I won't
Okay.
throw a lot of numbers. Because it's not just 2023. It is, I think what is significant about what we saw last year is it's a second double-digit growth year in a row. And by double digit, we're not talking 11, 12%.
15,
You have so
right?
many different metrics, right?
Right.
You have metrics on home price appreciation. You have
Okay.
metrics on number of sales transactions. You have metrics on number of off-plan sales transactions. You have metrics on rentals. You have metrics on mortgage transactions.
Okay.
What I will tell you is growth, right? In all of these metrics ranges anywhere between 15% all the way to 60%, depending on which metric you want to talk about,
That is unbelievable.
right? And that is 2 years back to back, right? So that's a really big deal,
Huge.
right? Now, going into 2024, one would think, and I wrote this in our first month newsletter, where there was a lot of speculators saying momentum is going to slow down.
Okay.
Okay? Why? Because you always have people who maybe not have as much depth in understanding our market or the real estate industry. And it is a fair assumption. I mean, if one had to guess, right? Or if one had to gamble, can a city grow double digit
Continue and
3
continue.
years in a row
Yes.
for you? Like where does it go?
Right.
And I'm going to answer that,
Please do.
or at least attempt to. Now, one of the reasons why the mortgage business of our or the mortgage operator of our business excites me is that what you see with DLD transactions, what you see with Data Guru, right, the tool that we have, is a lagging indicator.
Okay.
Because you're looking at transactional data up until today.
Okay.
What we see in the mortgage business is a leading indicator, because I'm seeing mortgage applications, I'm seeing submissions, I'm seeing mortgage transactions that have not yet been recorded, so we can see into the future.
This is so extremely important. So the drums.
The momentum that I'm seeing
Okay.
when I look at the mortgage numbers is shocking, right? So we are talking more than double year over year, right? In mortgage applications. It's truly shocking how accelerated this momentum is going into 2024. We're early in the year. I mean, we just closed We just closed a record number at Mortgage Finder in February. We're going to close another record number in March. So business is good. Knock on wood. Team's doing an amazing job, and this is the fruit of its customer centricity. I think is making a huge difference, and introducing we've been obsessing with the concept of customer centricity. I don't know another mortgage company that uses 5-star Google reviews as a performance metric that impacts the compensation of our team,
oh, wow.
for example.
So they're very motivated.
So we obsess with, I read Google reviews every day.
Okay.
Over coffee. So what I want to say is I don't want to deceive your audience by saying this is how the overall market is doing. Now, the overall market is growing double digits, right? What we see at Mortgage Finder is next level growth.
And what do you feel is driving that growth? Or I should say, what do you know is driving that growth?
Okay, so let's break it down. 1, the big bad rental notice. You know what that is?
No, tell me.
Right. So in the UAE,
okay,
a landlord is usually only able to increase rent by up to 10-15% every year using the RERA rental index, which we help build.
Wow. Okay.
Right?
Great.
So, however, a lot of landlords, because of that, it's not rent control.
Okay.
Right? So I don't want your audience to think of it as rent control. It's controlled rent increases. Right?
Okay. It's a different way of looking at it.
It's always usually capped at somewhere around 15% per year.
Okay.
So if a landlord has had a rental property with a tenant who's been in there since the 2016-17, right? And with all of this crazy home price appreciation, somebody who bought a property in 2016-17 may have more than doubled in value in the past 7 or 8 years. Okay? So those landlords are now compelled to sell that property, cash in their returns, and then either look for another property, buy an off-plan property, or invest in a different city, go back home, whatever they want to do.
Go shopping.
Right, go shopping. In Irvine Spectrum. Or Mall of America.
Or Mall of America.
Or King of Prussia. So, anyways, Nordstrom's Rack. I miss it.
Nordstrom Rack? Yeah. That place is way too chaotic for me.
I like that place. I don't know. Every time I go to that's usually my first go-to.
You miss that? Yeah, Here, I just wander around Dubai Mall for hours by myself. I put my earplugs in.
Dubai Mall.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a mall. It's a whole world inside the restaurants and the coffee shops and the aquarium. I don't need free. So.
Anyways.
Sorry, we digress.
So we do. The big bag rental notice.
Okay.
What happened is a lot of those landlords, because they were compelled to, sell their property, cash in their return, they send a rental notice an eviction notice to their tenant, which is within their legal rights.
But it has to be 1 year, right?
It's 1 year.
Okay.
So they send tenants, many thousands, or if not tens of thousands of tenants in Dubai, have received a rental notice.
Okay.
So let's give you a real life example.
Okay.
Right? Somebody who's now paying, say, $5,000 a month in rent, or the equivalent of $5,000-$6,000 a month in rent.
Okay.
Right? They got the notice. Now they went shopping, trying to find another rental property for a single family home, right? Within the same neighborhood, same specs or size or whatever.
Are we able to find that?
8,000 to 10,000.
Yeah.
Right? So what happened here is so many tenants were fed up with it, and they said, you know what? I want to stabilize my housing costs. I want to stabilize my family. The hell with this. I'm going to buy a property.
Makes complete sense.
Right? We built a rent versus buy calculator on Mortgage Finder, and I'm a very big advocate for home ownership.
Okay.
And it's to also help people, residents of Dubai, with pure common sense, numbers driven. It's not an opinion. It's factual. Look at the impact of buying versus renting, right? And in almost absolute terms, in this city, it makes more sense to buy than rent. Moves us on to the next one.
Okay.
Why is it making more sense to buy rather than rent? Because it is the only major global city that I can think of where your mortgage rates are lower than your rental yields. To break this down, mortgage rates are ranging from the upper 3%, let's say 3.99 right? Or 4%
Yes, exactly.
for residents,
Yes.
employed, salaried, etc.
Correct.
All
Because
the
it's
way
a
up
little
to
bit higher if I'm an investor.
correct.
Yes.
So if you're a U.S. non-resident buyer, it'll be closer to 5%.
Yes, but which is still a lot less than the United States and Canada.
In the U.S., it's 6.5%, 7%.
Exactly, yeah.
If you're buying an investment property in the U.S., it's more like mid sevens.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
Meanwhile, your rental yield in cities, fine cities like San Diego, right, or San Francisco, New York, Miami, etc., your rental yields are lower single digits. Right? We're seeing rental yields in upper single digits up into lower double digits. It's wild. I would feel more comfortable in saying, mid to upper single digits.
Okay.
Right? So 6-7%.
Okay.
Either way, your rental yields are higher than your mortgage rates. So it makes a lot more sense to mortgage a property rather than rent it. 3 is, and having lived here for the last 12 years, and this is something that I'm personally so energized by and very excited about. In the past, people used to take what I call a transactional approach with living in Dubai.
Explain, please.
Right now, there's a shift to a relationship approach. Okay? Now, there's a big difference. A transactional approach is people who are coming here a year or 2 or 3, making some money, tax-free,
They're out.
going back home.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? If you had asked an average person at a coffee shop, right, 12 years ago, how long have you been in Dubai? The typical answer would be 2 to 3 years. Right?
Okay.
If you ask an average person, try it. Go spend the weekend at Dubai Mall, ask 10 random people, how long have you been in Dubai? You're going to find the average to have gone up to 7 or 8 years.
People are staying.
Right? Not only are people staying,
Okay.
Dr. Thani Zayudi was talking about this. He's a government official in Abu Dhabi. There's now a concept emerging of what they call repats. So you have expats,
Right.
who came and lived in the UAE, right? Left and went back to Europe, US, Canada, Australia, spent a couple of years and said, take me back home.
To Dubai.
Absolutely.
Wow.
There's another one.
Okay.
Younger, so the second generation, like expats, kids who grew up here, right?
They
Had
went,
the
maybe got their
beautiful, lovely
education or whatever.
lifestyle that
Yeah.
we have here.
Yeah.
Right? The amazing weather and the malls and the F&B scene and the safety, the unparalleled safety and security of the
Safest
city.
city in the world.
Right?
Yes.
And then they went to, I don't want to pick on cities, right? Let's say again, Europe, North America, to university.
Okay.
Right? They finish university and they say, we want to come back here, which brings us into the fourth one. Job opportunities. Our kids, so second generation expats, are now able to find job opportunities in Dubai, right? Because every major international firm operates in the UAE. Meta has offices here, Google has offices here, MasterCard has offices here, IBM, Microsoft, McKinsey, PwC, EY, every investment bank under the sun, every hedge fund that and then you have the local, the local scene. You have major industrials in, F&B, aluminum, et cetera. So you have an overactive, thriving construction and real estate development industry.
Clearly.
Right? And then you have the local technology startups that are now, you have not one or two, you have, quite a few unicorns, right? So it's not just Property Finder, right? It's even employer culture has evolved big time. We were just awarded Best Place to Work.
Wow.
So not just great
Congratulations.
we did Great Place to Work 2 years in a row, and now we got Best Place to Work.
That's fantastic.
Thank you. And we take it with so much pride.
Yeah.
But it's not just us, right? There's so many of our peer, homegrown tech startups, which is super appealing to Gen Z, right?
Absolutely.
That we're offering these, hybrid work environment, these, healthy, well-governed, et cetera, right? So what did we say so far? We said, one,
the rental notice, right? Was
the
that
rental notice has been driving a lot of local demand from renters.
Okay.
Right? Two is the economics of buying a property is making more sense in Dubai than renting.
Right.
Right. Three is you have all of this economic growth, right? I was just reading a piece in the news earlier today where, Dubai is ranked the most stable global economy, right? And naturally, the Dubai's approach and the UAE's approach to geopolitics is unique in the sense that this government exerts a lot of what we call soft power, right? In a very classy, subtle, intelligent way that maintains that stability, which is super important. So people believe in that stability in the city, right? And then another one is the golden visa, right?
Which has even become now, it's continuously progressing and becoming easier to secure a golden visa to be able to stay here. Like, for example, right now, before it was you had to have actual physical possession of the off-plan project, but now it's a 2 million dirham value, and once you paid $1 million, you can start that process for the golden visa.
The minimum has actually gone lower now.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
The minimum threshold is now even below $1 million.
Okay.
Check with Dr. Mahmoud.
I will.
I don't want to take that away.
And that's the thing; it's constantly becoming more attractive to create this perfect city of the future. I call it a utopia. In fact, that's what I call Dubai.
You see the little signs that you see when you get into Dubai airport? Welcome to the world's happiest city.
No, I didn't see
you haven't
that.
Noticed it?
No, but I want to pay attention to that.
Every time I come, I take a picture and I send it to my kids.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are the 5 main drivers that you've seen.
Transparency.
And transparency.
So transparency, I want to cap with transparency.
Please do.
Because for an international investor to have, in my opinion, the most seamless experience in buying an international property. Like if I want to buy a property in Spain or Italy, or even the US, right? It's a pain in the...
Without a doubt. I mean,
Right?
I've been wanting to buy a property in Italy since I was a little girl, but how?
Or good luck buying a property in Egypt
Italy.
while we're living here, for example, or Syria, or not
exactly.
that one, but
Yeah.
No,
and
here you can, you're probably working with your clients sitting in
They haven't
Ohio
even come
or
here.
San Diego or
And they
Miami,
haven't even been here.
And they haven't even been here.
And they don't have to come here. And they're already appreciating the capital appreciation.
But you might want to ask yourself, and I'm sure you've asked yourself, how are those people, spending millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars buying properties in the middle of the Middle East, right? Why? And the real answer is trust. Had it not been for that commitment to unlocking that level of transparency and data, where, your buyer can be sitting in their beautiful backyard in the fine city of San Diego, right? And they'd be looking on the Property Finder app, going through Data Guru, and then able to, learn everything they need to know about what
Whenever somebody asks me, actually, which neighborhoods or which cities, and actually I want to touch upon that with you, should we look at and what has performed well, I automatically send them to you. I said, don't take my word for it. These are I can give you the bullet points answer, but don't just take my word for it. Go to Property Finder. See what's been happening in these neighborhoods. See which ones have performed well.
You're the reason we've been getting a lot of traffic from the U.S.
From the U.S.
Because I track traffic. I'm like, are Americans really looking at buying in Dubai?
Yes, they are, and yes, we have been. I have been selling, and I've been very happy. Thank God, it's been
I love. Just a really quick anecdote. So when I lived in the Bay Area, I used to truly believe that Palo Alto is the center of the universe.
We all do in America. We think where we live, I don't know what it is, whether it's ingrained in our brains, but yes.
And it's Palo Alto, right?
Okay.
It's the intersection of University Avenue and Sand Hill Road, right?
Okay.
Venture capital, startups, Google, everybody's there.
Yes,
right?
that's true.
So, when I was was it this summer or last summer? And I think it was last summer. I was in Palo Alto having lunch with a friend, right? And he randomly asked me, so how's Dubai? And then 3 people sitting at tables around us were like, wow, you live in Dubai? Or, Dubai? And I'm like, yeah, well, tell us more. We're really interested. We want to see, is it safe? I'm like, yeah. Safer than Palo Alto. Now I don't want to pick on Palo Alto. I love Palo Alto, but safer than anywhere I can think of.
There's
right?
yes.
Really safer than
Yes.
absolutely any city
Exactly.
that I can think of. Well, can my wife come? Yes. Why not?
Can she drive? Yes.
Are you sure you want to bring your wife? Is the question. And I started messing with them. Like, so when you go to Vegas, do you usually ask, can my wife come?
Yeah.
Of course she can come. So, yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of interest. And there are a couple of Netflix shows actually that are in the United States right now that are about Dubai. So that's created this, mystery. And that is my goal. My goal is to demystify Dubai through my eyes as a first-generation Arab American with offices both here in Dubai and in San Diego. And I was born in Detroit, but I was raised in San Diego, educated at UCSD. I myself had no desire to come to the Middle East because of my own preconceived notions. But once I finally got on the plane and came here, every preconceived notion completely was disappeared, and I am pulled here. I feel this pull.
Have you moved yet?
Well, last time I was here for 7 weeks, and I don't even have my return flight booked right now. So I haven't moved here yet. I'm waiting for my son to find out where he's going to college, and my husband and I are looking to potentially relocate here.
So what I would really, really love for you to do with your audience is, it's not just about encouraging people to buy property in the UAE.
Correct.
I would love to see a world where more and more Americans are moving to the UAE, right? The tax benefit that you get here unfortunately, us U.S. citizens,
we have to pay taxes.
But there's a quite a substantial exemption, right?
And also, you don't have property taxes here, right?
You don't have capital gain tax.
Capital gains tax, property taxes.
I find evil.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. And then also your income tax here is...
You have a certain amount that you can make.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's like the first 100 and some thousand.
Correct.
I'm sure you talk to tax people. And then you have the housing exemption. So quite a substantial amount of your
Correct.
income will not be subject to taxes. Put these aside, right? The practicality. Why do I love this city, right? And why would I encourage every American under the sun to explore living here, right? I've been fortunate to travel to more than, did the math the other day, I think 72 cities in my life.
Wow.
This is the one and only city on the planet that I feel gives each and every single person an equal opportunity to live your identity to its fullest. You can be as American as you want to be in this city.
Mm-hmm.
You can be as English as you want to be. You can be as Arab as you want to be, as Australian as you want to be. And you see that in food, in culture, in openness, in and also I have many friends with the local, Emirati community. There's so many myths that need to be broken, right? The locals are so welcoming of expats in the UAE. They genuinely love having us here, right? You don't feel like a stranger. Everybody's welcome. Nobody bothers you. Everybody respects you.
Yep.
It's a happy city. You read our press, there's hardly ever any bad news.
Yeah.
It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to be. My elderly parents live with us. They're 83 and 87, and they absolutely love it. Kids' schools are fantastic, right? The weather is amazing, beaches, bars. Why would anybody not want to move here? So all I would say is I would very strongly urge your audience to say, hey, if you haven't thought about it, come join us at Property Finder. We're always hiring. We're always looking for
Fantastic.
smart
That's
talent.
good to know.
Right?
Definitely.
The
job growth, the GDP growth, the opportunities here, the lifestyle, the diversity, the harmony, the safety, the welcomeness. You can't completely be American because I can't cuss anybody out when they're honking behind me in the car.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
Yeah.
But actually, it worked. Like, everyone's always worried I'm going to be arrested here because I'm such an angry driver in San Diego.
Yeah.
But when you come here, you don't want to get kicked out. So you play by the rules. You have to be respectful.
Living in a city where respect and politeness is a law, that's profound. right?
You cannot even make, for example, a comment about someone's race, color, or religion here. You cannot make a derogatory comment. That is not allowed.
Or send a WhatsApp message.
Yes. So imagine that, just that in and of itself, because people will say, oh, it's a religious country. Okay, it is of a religion. However, all religions are respected and welcomed here.
I used to feel more comfortable making borderline racial comments in the U.S. than I do here.
Yeah, because you're not going to get in trouble in the U.S.
I remember I had an African-American friend at university who he says, bro, you get to be an equal opportunity offender. And I'm like, what's that? He says, let's face it. You're from Syria, right?
Yeah.
So you're like from the...
Yeah, we're also, yes, as Arabs, yes.
It's all right.
Right. Yes. But no, you're right. Here, it's totally, it's socially unacceptable and it's legally unacceptable. And that's a beautiful misconception as well that has been broken in my own eyes coming here. And what I have seen, and as a woman in business, how respected I feel here and how empowered I feel here. And I absolutely agree with you. And all it took was one night in Dubai, one visit here with my whole life changing and being able to meet and connect with people like you and to continue to open the minds of Americans and tell them to come to Dubai, Habibi.
All right. Habibi, come to Dubai.
So with that, I want to thank you for your time and your expertise. Property Finder is an excellent source. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and stay tuned for my next episode. Thank you. This is season 2 of the Dubai Connect podcast.